Good morning, sweet ladies. Thank you for joining us in Far Above Rubies today. I'm so very glad that each of you are here. Today we are taking a look at Acts chapter 17 and talking about the thought, worshiping religion. Worshiping religion. We're going to read verses 22 and 23 together, and this is Paul speaking. He says, "Men of Athens, I notice that you are very religious in every way. For as I was walking along, I saw your many shrines. And one of your altars had this inscription on it: To the unknown God. This is the God whom you worship without knowing. This is the one I am telling you about." That's what Paul is speaking to the men of Athens in this passage. The people of Athens were enamored with religion, but they were not enamored with God. They were enamored with making sure that their religious bases were covered, that their checklist for religious duties were all completely filled up, but they had a complete lack of any intimacy, any relationship with the one true living God. Paul was reaching hard for these people, for these religious people in this passage. He was saying, I need you to understand that religion is not salvation, that intimacy with God, obeying the plan of salvation laid out by Jesus Christ, that is salvation. Going to church on Sunday, if Paul was speaking this to us today, this is what he would be saying. Going to church on Sunday, that's not salvation. Putting $1 in the offering plate, that's not salvation. Serving the community around you, that's not salvation. Holding position within your church, that's not salvation. Looking just so on the outside so that all of the church folk around you think, she's got it all together. That is not salvation. That is not worshiping God. That is not relationship with God. That is not intimacy with God. I think what Paul would tell us today is if we are not having daily, intimate relationship with Jesus Christ, then we know nothing of worshiping Him. We only know worshiping religion. The Athenians prayed to statues, not to God. They doled out their required prayers. They doled out their required penance. They doled out their required words that just went to a ceiling and stopped because they did not know who they were praying to. They did not have relationship with the one that they were praying to. They did not even know God. They covered all of their bases, but they lacked intimacy. We have to take inventory in our lives, in our so-called Christian walk, and we have to ask ourselves, do we worship religion? Do we worship religion, or do we worship God? Do we worship Jesus Christ? Do other folks around us look at us and say, they are some good religious people? Or do they look at us and say, they are followers of Jesus Christ? Because those two things are not synonymous. Those two things do not necessarily go hand in hand. You can be very religious in every way, just like Paul said, and still not be a Christian, still not be a follower of the teachings of Jesus Christ. You can still refrain from modeling your life after the ministry and the life of Jesus and consider yourself religious. We have to stop covering our religious bases. We have to stop checking our little religious check boxes and think that that is our salvation, and think that we are covered, and think that we don't need time in the Word of God, and think that we don't need intimacy with Jesus in prayer daily, 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 daily. We have to stop leaning into worshiping religion, and we have to start worshiping the God who created our souls. We have to lay the foundation for relationship with Jesus, not the foundation for religion. We have to lay the foundation for relationship with Jesus Christ. We have to lay the foundation for relationship, intimacy, worshiping God, worshiping the God that existed before religion began. Go and read Acts chapter 17, and if no one has told you lately, you are loved. And you are cherished, and you are valuable. You have beautiful and tremendous worth, my sweet friend, and that worth is far above rubies. Thank you for being here with me today, and I will see you all again tomorrow. God bless you.